Ya thalathatul ayyam.
Ó ní ilé ayé ìjọ mẹ́ta péré ni.
Yawma amsi qad mada.
Ó ní lọ́mọ látẹnu ànábì Isa alayhi salatu wa salam. Ó ní ọjọ́ alákọ̀ọ́
Yawmu amsi
qad mada.
qad mada.
Alákọ̀ọ́ ní ọjọ́ àná qad mada tó ti lò kọjá.
Ma biyadika minhu shay.
Ma biyadika minhu shay. Àwọn ọmọ tó ṣe kọjá lánàá kò sí lọ́wọ́ ẹ mọ́. Ẹlòmíì ò ní rántí àwọn aburú tó ṣe kọjá lánàá ó wà ń bẹ o.
Yawma amsi qad mada ma biyadika minhu shay wa yawma gadin la tadri.
wa yawma gadin la tadri. Ètò jẹ́ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì náà yóò ní yawma gadin ọ̀la la tadri. Atadriku amla ó mọ̀ àtàdérikù amla sọmadé bẹ́ẹ̀ ilé ayé ni irú òpó ló máa dé bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ̀ǹdíṣàn ló máa wà ó mọ odi méjì.
wàyàwó àǹtàfí fagnantuhu.
wàyàwó àǹtàfí ọjọ́ tó wà ń bẹ̀ yìí ànábì Ìsá ní factanim ìkìlọ̀ ni a word is enough for a wise. ànábì Ìsá ní factanim yá títí yá dìímú.
Dunya thalathatu ayyami yawma amsi qad mada ma biyadika minhu shay.
Àná àti ọ̀la tó mọ bó ṣe máa rí èyí tó wà ń bẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yìí fagitẹ́ni yadimu mọ ohun tí ó ṣe nú ẹ̀. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì.
Wa dunya thalatha sa'a.
Wọ́n bá lọ wọ́n ní wa dunya thalatha sa'a. Ìgbà mẹ́ta tẹ́ pè ní áwà. Mẹ́ta péré ló ń jẹ́lé ayé. Àwa alákọ̀ọ́kọ́. Sa'atun madat. Wákàtí kan kò sí tó jẹ́ káwọn yẹn sọ pé sáà. Àlàyé àmà ṣàlàyé fún wa sáà. Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ wákàtí tó lò kọjá madat tó ti kọjá.
Wasa'atun la tadri.
Wasa'atun la tadri. Bóyá àti wákàtí kan tó wà níwájú tó mọ̀. Bóyá ó sì máa dé bẹ́ẹ̀.
Wasa'atu anta fiha.
Wasa'atu anta fiha. Àsìkò hours tó wà inú wákàtí tó wà ń sìn.
Factanimuha.
Hold it very well. Wọ́n ní kí ni reason? Torí ikú kò sọnù àsìkò tó máa wá. Ṣùgbọ́n nínú sáà yẹn náà ló máa wá. Inú wákàtí yẹn ló máa wá. Òun náà ló mú àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n. Wọ́n mú páàtì kẹta wá pé kí ni àtànáfúsù ilé ayé. Asalasa nafas.
Naam. Falasta tamliku lakiko illa sa'a.
Salasa nafas.
Aduniya salasa anfas.
Aduniya àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ní ilé ayé tẹ́rí yẹn salasa anfas. Wọ́n tún ní kì í ṣe sáà mọ́. Ṣé o pé Isa ní kí ni? Ó ní ọjọ́ ni. Àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n mi àwọn ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọ́n ní kì í ṣe ọjọ́. Wọ́n ní àsáà ni. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n mi wá ní kí tẹ̀ wá ń ṣe sáà. Asalasa anfas. Èmi lọ sókè mẹ́ta ni ilé ayé là ń pè ilé ayé.
Nafsun mada.
Nafasun mada. Èmi lọ sókè lọ́dúnlẹ̀ tó ṣe ẹ̀mí kọjá. Ẹlẹ́kejì.
Wa nafasun la tadiri atadiriku amla.
Wa nafasun la tadiri atadiriku amla. Èmi lọ sókè tí ò tí ì wá o mọ̀ bóyá ó máa wá bẹ́ẹ̀ torí èmi lọ sókè wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ ìpẹ́rẹ́bù àbí kí ló máa ń pè pé èmi lọ sókè tó mi lọ sí mọ̀ ó mọ bóyá the next breathing what it can cause you. Wọ́n ní èmi lọ sókè náfàsù èmi lọ sókè ètò ti kọjá àti ètò wà wájú tó mọ̀ ètò wà ń bẹ̀ àbí.
Wa nafasun anta fihi falasta tamliku illa nafsaha wahida.
Àti èmi lọ sókè èmi lọ sílẹ̀ tó wà ń bẹ̀ sí tó o mọ̀ bóyá ó máa ṣe kí ni ó máa ó ní fàtẹ̀ ní mu ha èyí tó mi lọ́wọ́ lókè kò fi ṣe kí ni kò fi sáré kò dì í mú kò fi ṣe nǹkan tó dáa. Àti ìyà dúnìyà. Bákan náà nínú àdìsí kan wọ́n lànà bí wọ́n ní mọ̀láka Jibrilu wọ́n bá nàbí wa Muhammad.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Wọ́n bá nàbí wa Muhammad wọ́n ní Jibrilu wọ́n bá nàbí wa Muhammad kò yá Rasulullah náà.
Nàfàkọ́ aláwọ̀ ya Muhammad inna Allah ta'ala.
Jibrilu olúwa bá nàbí ìjọ kan ó ní yá Muhammad ọ̀ká ìmọye ọjọ́ ọ̀ká ìmọye ìgbà míì láwọn ànábì náà ní dáná lé wọn ní onísìnkàn tá ànábì máa jẹ tó máa fi bí panú tó dẹ̀ máa jíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run. Wọ́n ní eléyìí náà ló fà á.
ta'ala yakra'uka as-salamu wa yaqulu laka atuhibbu an aj'ala laka adil jabal dhahaba.
Eléyìí náà ló fà á. Ọlọ́run ní kí Jibril wá bá Ànábì Muhammad níjọ́ kan.
Sallallahu alayhi
Ya
wa
Rasulullah.
sallam.
Ọlọ́run ní máa kí ẹ o, ó ní iṣẹ́ pẹ̀lẹ́. Ọlọ́run ní béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ.
Wa atuhibbu an aj'ala laka adil jibalu dhahaba.
Ṣó fẹ́ kémi Ọlọ́run ọba kí n sọ òkè yìí kí n sọ di góòlù fún ẹ nítòsí ilé ẹ.
Watakuna ma'aka haythu ma kunta.
Watakuna ma'aka haythu ma kunta. Kó máa ṣe kí ni kó máa bẹ pẹ̀lú ẹ haythu ma kunta gbogbo ibi tó bá wà. That is pé góòlù kí ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀? Owó pẹpẹ ọrọ̀ lọ́lọ́run sọ yẹn pé ṣé o fẹ́ kó yẹ pé ọrọ̀ ní wọ́n ń jọ kan. Òun náà ní náà fi wé kí ni àlìjábálù. Jibril ló bá Nábì pé ìyá Rasulullah ṣó fẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní kí n bí ẹ léèrè. Ọlọ́run ní máa kí ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ kí n máa ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́ kí n máa ṣe rọra kí n máa kí ẹ Ọlọ́run kí ẹ o Ọlọ́run ní kí n béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ. Ebi tẹ́ ń pa sùn tẹ́ ìyàwó ní jẹun tẹ́ ní dáná ní. Ṣó fẹ́ kí n sọ òkè di góòlù fún ẹ ni. Mo ká pẹ́ màá ní kí Jibril ṣe fún ẹ sìn.
Watakuna ma'aka haythu ma kunta.
Watakuna ma'aka haythu ma kunta. Kí òkè yẹn kó yẹn máa kọ́ lá máa bẹ́ẹ̀ jí kó máa bẹ́ẹ̀ sùn kó máa tẹ̀lé ká.
Fa'atruku as-sa'a thumma qala ya Jibril.
Ànábì wa dúró díẹ̀ pé oní Jibril níṣòro.
Inna dunya daru man la dari lahu. Man la daro lahu.
Ẹ wá gbọ́ nǹkan tí Ànábì sọ.
Inna dunya darun.
Ẹ̀rẹ́ Jibril, inna dunya ilé ayé tó fẹ́ fún mi darun ilé kan ní.
Man la daro lahu.
Man la daro lahu fẹ́ni tí ò ní padà rí lédè sí.
Wa malun man la malu lahu.
Wa malun ilé ayé torí malun owó kan ní fún kí ni man la malu lahu fẹ́ni tí ò ní padà rówó mọ́.
Qad yajma man la aqilu lahu.
Ilé ayé tó fẹ́ fún mi yajma man la aqilu lahu kò sẹ́ni tó máa kó dání tí yàtọ̀ sẹ́ni tí ò ní làákàyè. Gbàdúrà wọ́n nìkan pé mọ́tò 10 sínú kọ́mpáǹdì. Ọ̀tọ̀ ní guest room, ọ̀tọ̀ ní living room, ọ̀tọ̀ ní ilé tó máa sùn wọ́n méjì ìwọ́n kan abẹ́yìn méjì lẹ́dẹ̀ wá ń bẹ̀ ó wàá gba òṣìṣẹ́ bíi 20 àwọn kúkà àwọn kìíní olùwàgbà péjọ kan kò ní sí èèyàn kankan lára ẹ̀ mọ́.
Qad yajma man la aqilu lahu.
Qad yajma man la aqilu lahu kò sẹ́ni tó máa ń kólé ayé jọ olùgbé tó bá ní làákàyè.
Faqala lahu Jibril.
Faqala lahu Jibril. Jibril wá ń sọ fún Ànábì Muhammad.
Sabatakallahu ya Muhammad.
Sabatakallahu ya Muhammad. Tó mọ̀ndà lọ́lọ́run ọba tó fẹsẹ̀ rinlẹ̀ sórí tó fún ẹ ní wide thinking.
Qala Aisha radiyallahu anha.
Ó ti tó ìyẹn ní tànàbí wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bákan náà èyí tí máa tún sọ fún wa tí a fi jẹ́ tí ó máa rí ilé ayé sá ẹ jẹ́ àwa contented kò sí kan tí fásitì ta kàlẹ́ nì fẹ́ sọ fún wa ju pé wọ́n yà àdúnìyà dẹ́rùn fàánà ilé ayé kan ní tí tó dárul gurur ilé ayé tọ́jẹ́ ni.
Amal hayatud dunya illa mata'ul gurur.
Wọ́n ní Umar ibn Khattab
radiyallahu anhu.
Kò sí ẹ̀dá tó ráyé sá tó Umar ibn Khattab. Wọ́n ní nígbà tí Umar ibn Khattab tó ń ṣèjọba lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ìtọ́jẹ́ kó yé wa táwọn lọ́ka ìtọ́ Umar ibn Khattab dáadáa àárí bó ṣe jẹ́ záhídù sí. Dépò ìpè ní wọ́n ní ta ló máa jẹ́ gọ́fúnà ìlú kan tí ò ní governor's house. Ẹ̀mọ̀ báwọn tí yín lù yín wọ́n ṣe ń kójọ. Àwọn tí yín lù yín wọ́n ṣe ń kójọ ẹ ti máa mọ difference governor's house ní president house ní president palace. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kíní kan ni ìjọ tí Umaru ń ṣe khalifa Umaru kò nílé kan tó yẹ pé government house wọ́n ní ilé ahoro tó ti ń gbé tẹ́lẹ̀ náà ló ń gbé òun náà ló fà á wọ́n ní àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ọlọ́léèwé ní wọ́n lọ́léèwé pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ tálákà náà ni everybody dàpọ̀ ni wọ́n ní ọmọ ẹ̀ wá lọ sí school ńjọ́ kan. ọmọ ẹ̀ wá láti iléèwé ó wá ké wá ọmọ ẹ̀ ké wá láti iléèwé ọmọ wa mi lọ pé mọ yàbù kíkà yà wàlàdì kí ló ń pẹ́ lẹ́kún ìwọ ọmọ mi.
àkọọ́lá iná síbi ànàfin mákìtàbí àdúwà wakọ̀ akọ̀mí sí.
ó ní ọmọ ẹ̀ wá ń sọ fún mọ̀ pé ẹ mọ báwọn wá ṣe máa kí wá nígbà mi ìjọ tó máa fọwọ́ lágbá wa lójú ṣe hàn pé àwọn olówó èyí tó tiẹ̀ lówó tẹ́ pé àárín méjì ló wà tó bá ti ń bá àwọn wa lọ sùkúl tó ń gbé kínní àwọn náà tó máa ń proof class wọ́n wá ń fi ọmọ yẹn ṣe ẹ̀yẹ ní kíláàsì nítorí pé kíni aṣọ ẹ̀ tó ń wọ̀ lọ sí sùkúl wọ́n ti pàṣẹ ẹ̀ bí ọ̀nà bíi mẹ́fà.
wàkọlù unzuru ilà abùnà amiril mùmíní.
kí ló máa ń sọ ẹ̀wọ̀ ọmọ gọ́vnà
ọmọ president
bí ọmọ president gbogbo mùmíní wọ́n ní ẹ̀wọ̀ bó ṣe rí wọ́n fi ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́.
a ti ń fi kọ́mí sí i.
kò sí kan tó ń fi yẹ nítorí aṣọ ẹ̀ kí ni Umaru wá ṣe. Umaru ní ó wá sọ fún àwọn tó wà nídìí ètò owó àwọn tó wà nínú kí lẹ́tí pé treasures ó sọ fún wọn kí ló sọ ṣàpẹ́ yìí ní company tó owó jáde ní ẹ̀ ń kó wa jẹ ní Umaru wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ kí ni lọ́wọ́ Khazinu bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ ẹ̀ tó ti ọ̀rọ̀ ajé gbogbo mùsùlùmí jọ́nà ọlọ́run tó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ó wá ń sọ fún pé ní.
akridni min baitil mali arba'ata darahim.
ẹ jọ ṣé mo lè yá 4 dirham ṣé mo lè yá 10,000 naira nínú kíni.
darahim ila rasi shah
nínú owó oṣù mi. olórí ìlú olórí gbogbo gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì gbogbo Islamic Empire ni Umar lẹ́yìn Abubakar talókun Umar Khalifa the whole Islamic nation kò ló mọ́tò wọn ẹṣin kan tó ń fi jagun náà lóní Umar wọn ní ìtàn ẹ̀ pọ̀ mi fẹ́ lọ síbẹ̀ lórí ilé ìta ń kà lọ́wọ́ yìí ọmọ Umar ní ó fẹ́ lọ yáwó ní kíni ní treasure pé ó ní kàn ṣe kíni kí wọ́n lè yáwó ní 10,000 naira 4 dirham náà ń lò gbàdúrà dirham náà ń lò pé tí wọ́n lè wọ́n fẹ́ yá 4 dirham inú owó pé ṣùgbọ́n tó bá di oṣù tójò bá parí ìyẹn ni pé ó ti consume owó oṣù tó wà nínú ẹ̀ tí incident ẹ̀ fi ṣẹlẹ̀ sọ́mọ ẹ̀ pé tó bá di oṣù tó tá a máa gbé owó oṣù ẹ̀yọ́ ní owó oṣù mi ẹgbẹ́ kan tí Khazinu sọ fún náà.
فذاك رأس الشارع جعله من مشاعر أي مما أخذ من وظيفة شهر فشهر من بيت المال فكتب إليه الخازن يا عمر أتى من على أيتك شهر أتى أنقذك فما تفعل بدراهم بيت المال.
nígbà tí Khazinu tó máa dé sí tọ́lábà kí ni àti pé tọ́lábà request kọ́lẹ́ pé request tó kọ nígbà tí secretary treasurer of the house tó máa dá lóhùn ó ní ya Umar ya amir mu'minina mo pè wọ olórí ìlú ẹ wò iman ta ló lè pa òun ló lè bá ẹni tó jẹ́ councillor wa lásán òun náà ní pa tó bá ní mo wá náà ni tó bá ní lọ fọmọbìnrin yẹn ní 10 million lọ fún náà ni ẹni treasurer wa ń kọ lẹ́tà sí ó ń dáhùn request president ó ní yá amir al-muminin anakumula owó tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́ yá yìí ẹni ẹ máa dá padà lóṣù tó ń bọ̀ tẹ́ ẹ bá máa gbowó oṣù ó ní ẹjọ́ sà mo fẹ́ pè lọ́wọ́ yín ìjẹ́ mọ̀ bóyá máa kú lọ́la náà.
شهر فشهر من بيت المال فكتب للحسن يا عمر أتمنى على حياتك شهرا حتى أنقذ لك فما تفعل بدراهم بيت المال لو مت وبكيت عليك.
الله أكبر. ó ní yá amir al-muminin tí ẹ̀sà ẹjọ́ sà ó dẹ̀ ẹni ẹ̀ máa sọ̀rọ̀ ẹjọ́ ṣé ẹ̀yin lẹ́ni ẹ̀mí kí ni ẹjọ́ kí ni máa sọ tí ẹ bá sí tí oṣù tó ń bá Yorùbá bá yín láyé mọ́.
فلما
nígbà tí
سمع عمر كلام
Umaru
الخازن بقى وقال
nígbà tí Umaru tó ka lẹ́tà Khazin treasurer wọlé bákà ó lè bẹ̀ sí
وقال
ké wàkọ́ọ̀là.
يا بني ارجع إلى الكتاب فأني لا آمن على روح الساعة.
Allahu akbar kabira. Ẹ ṣé Allahu akbar.
فأني لا آمن على روح الساعة.
Ẹgbọ́n tí Umaru sọ, ó pe ọmọ yẹn padà. Ètò ìfẹ́ yín kójú máa tiẹ̀ ló fẹ́ ṣe ló ti fẹ́ lọ gbàgbé sí nítorí ọmọ ẹ̀. Àbí nísòrò kójú máa tiẹ̀ kí ni ká ti gbọ́ pọ́ ọmọ mi ṣe báyìí ló fẹ́ lọ ṣe nǹkan tó kápá nǹkan tó mọ̀ pé ó kápá torí ọmọ ṣe ó mọ̀ wá pe ọmọ ẹ̀ ó wá ṣe wáàsí fún ó ní ìyẹn ló ṣẹlẹ̀ pé o ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ó dàgbé wá ṣe máa lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà kí owó òṣèré torí pé ní ìdí tó fà á ni pé mi tí n bá gbà ní owó bẹ́tì lùmọ́ọ̀lì owó gbogbo jọ̀mọ́ owó gbogbo empire kí tiẹ̀ tó kàn tẹ̀ wọ́n máa yọ nu owó òṣèré ó ní ṣùgbọ́n
fàínní láàmínú àlàrú ìsáà.
wọ́n jẹ́ pé mi ìkápá wákàtí kan inú ẹ̀mí mi tó wà lára mi tí kú bá dé ńkọ́ nítorí ìdí èyí náà.
fàínní irji' ila al-kitab fàínní láàmínú àlàrú ìsáà.
so wàá máa lọ sí skul bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó sọ fún mi pé kí ni wàá máa lọ jẹ́ kó máa fẹ́ ṣe ẹ̀yẹ́ yẹn tí tó oṣù máa fi pa ètò oṣù máa fi ṣe kí ni tí ìkìsáàbù ṣàríyà mi rásò mọ́lẹ̀ àti kí pé owó oṣù yẹn máa fi tó máa fi tó máa ààyò ń bẹ̀ ẹgbọ́n lọ́n tóbi. Aza wa zod kò tó ń pè ní ìrayésá nìyẹn kò tó lọ́n fẹ́ lọ́wọ́ èmi àti ẹ̀yin nìyẹn má torí nǹkan kan má torí pé kéèyàn kan má pè é ní nǹkan kan kọ́ máa ní mi ẹgbẹ́ pé gbèsè tó kó máa lọ lásìrè ẹ lọ́rùn ó mọye tó wọ́ọ̀tì lóṣù kan ó mọye tó ń wọlé fún ẹ lóṣù kan kí ló ń ṣe ju ẹ lọ fún inú kí nìyẹn inú zinatul hayati dunya nìyẹn ìyọ̀ ń ṣe táyé nìyẹn.
Qala an-nabiy sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Man asbaha dunya akbar hammu falaysa minallahi fi shay'in. Ànábì tún sọ náà yìí kan ó ní gbogbo ẹni tó bá jẹ́ kí ilé ayé jẹ́ akbar hammihi nǹkan tó gbèsè mi tó jẹ́ pé òun ló máa ń lójoojúmọ́ ló máa ń wáyé mọ́yà lójoojúmọ́ ó ní kíni. falaysa minallahi fi shay'in wa alzama qalbahu arba'a khussal. Ó ní kó gbà pé kò sí nǹkan kan fún lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Irú àwọn ẹni yìí àwọn ẹni tó máa ṣe kí ni wọ́n máa jọrun papọ̀ kò ní ìjọ tó bá ráyè kírun ni torí ilé ayé tó gbé sáyà àlọ́bí wa ní kó lọ mọ̀ pé ní gbogbo tó bá ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. wà á alzama qalbahu Ọlọ́run á gbé wọ́ láyà á gbé sí nígbà yà á gbé wọ́ ẹrù kí ni arba isol àwọn nǹkan mẹ́rin kan yóò máa bá ká. Aláwọ̀kọ́. Láyà ń kọ́ tí òun á ní òun àbàdà. Àmù láyà ń kọ́ tí òun á ní òun àbàdà. Nǹkan tí ọlọ́kọ̀ máa gbé sígbà yẹ tó máa rán lẹ́yìn òun ní àmù. Èèyàn méjì àmù ìdààmú bó ṣe wọlé láyà ń kọ́ tí òun á ní òun àbàdà kò ní já lára ẹ̀ tó pé ní bóyá mi ṣe wàhálà pé bóyá èèyàn kan tó ń ṣe bísíǹsì kìnnìún inú lè yín bẹ́ẹ̀ ọdún bóyá ń gómẹ̀ láti máa ń yí wọlé ìyẹn ló máa gbé sáyà ayé àwa ga high pressure blood pressure yóò máa padà a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí develop. wàsáníyà. alábi nínú nǹkan kejì tó lọ́ máa dà sí lágbàdá. ṣùgbọ́n ńlá yàtà farọ́gùn mi ni wò. ṣùgbọ́n ńlá yàtà farọ́gùn mi ni wò abadan. àìrójú. لا يتفرق منه أبدا. tí ò ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní business wọn ní India wọ́n ní kíkọ́ wọn kíní àròjọ àwa gbẹ̀tì nígbàyà لا يتفرق أبدا kò ní filẹ̀ naam ẹlẹ́kẹta. والثالثة فقر لا يبلغ غنى أبدا.
ẹlẹ́kẹ̀ẹ́ta fákìrún láṣẹ kí ni.
لا يبلغ الغنى أبدا.
láyà bulugul gina abadan. fákìrún òṣì kan tí ò ní ṣe kí ni tí ò ní dolówó láíláí. kí ló dé tí ànábì sọ bẹ́ẹ̀? bó ṣe mọ̀ pé bó ṣe rí bísíǹsì eléyìí tí 5,000 ló ń jáde ń bẹ̀. a tún máa sáré wọ pé kí ni èmi kò ní 10,000 dàsí pé kò tí ì tó nìyẹn dàsí pé kò ní rọrùn náà nìyẹn. òun ló sọ pé fákìrún ipò tó máa padà máa bá rẹ̀ ní ipò tòṣì.
láyà bulugul gínà àbàdà wà.
láyà bulugul gínà àbàdàn kò ní àṣìfù ọlá kò ní fulfill láyé ó di mẹ́ta ẹlẹ́kẹrin.
wà rọ́bì amalun la yablugu muntahahu abada.
amulun àbí amulun.
lam.
amulun ìkẹrin òun ni pé amulun èrò pé mo fẹ́ àṣìfẹ́lẹ̀ mo fẹ́ mú eléyìí.
la yablugu muntahahu abada la nihaya lahu.
tí ò ní sí gbẹ̀yìn fún torí akọ̀mọ̀ ẹ̀mí ẹ̀wọ̀n máa torí nǹkan tó wà láyé ní kíní ẹ̀ ni akọ̀mọ̀ bí ṣe ń ṣe ó dà pé tàṣí yóò kò tó fẹ́ ṣe mọ́ jẹ́ mú security mọ́ ìgbà mú security mọ́ jẹ́ mú eléyìí mọ́ á ṣiṣẹ́ mẹ́rin. ẹ wá sọ fún mi bá ìjọ olóòtú tó ń ṣe fẹ́.
amalu la yablugu muntahahu abada.
a máa sáré wàláì àwa kú.
kalla bal tuhibbuna al-ajila.
kalla bal tuhibbuna al-ajila. ẹ lọ́mọ bal tuhibbuna al-ajila. gbogbo àwọn tó ń pe ọjọ́ gbèǹde níyọ́ tó ń sọ pé kò síjọ́ gbèǹde kò sí tó ṣe wọ́n wípé tuhibbuna al-ajila. ilé ayé wọ́n wà máyà ilé ayé ló ń kọ́ àìrójú bá wọn níbi pé kí ni láti rántí Ọlọ́run.
watadharuna al-akhirah.
watadharuna al-akhirah. eléyìí ni ó wàá mú wọn náà fi gbàgbé àkírà jẹ́gbẹ́ ní àkíyàmọ̀.
ala laita sururu yadumu lakin dawamul hali fi dunya mahali. فلا تأمل كمال عيش فيها فدار نفس ليس لها كمال. ألا ليت سرور يدوم لكن دوام الحال في دنيا محال.
ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n olórin kan ó ní kẹ́lẹ́ mọ̀ pé ilé ayé kò ń ṣe ilé ayé tí ìdùnnú máa lọ ò lè àṣìfù bákan náà bí kò yẹ pé kò ṣe kí ni kò ní zuru ráyésá tí o bá ní ráyésá á wà contented ráyésá ló máa mú ẹ contented pẹ̀lú ọba tó bá ń rí tó ń jẹun tó ń sùn tó ń jí tó ń sin lọ́hùn tó ń rọ́ lọ́hùn sìn tó ń ìwọ̀n bá ilé ìwé táwọn ọmọ ilé lọ tó ń lọ ìfọkànbalẹ̀ á wà ń bẹ̀. òun ló sọ pé àlá ẹ̀tẹ̀ wá jẹ́ sọ fún yín kò sẹ́ tó lè ní dùnnú for the whole.
tazawwadu fi dunya fa innaka la tadri.
ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n kan ó ṣe àpèjúwe ilé ayé òun ni máa fi parí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí fún wa kan tó ṣe fún wa kí gbogbo wa ká lọ gbà ẹ má jẹ́ adílé ayé mọ́yà ẹ má sáré tí ò yẹ ẹ má wo ẹ̀sìn ẹlẹ́sìn kì í ṣe gbogbo ara máa kọ́lé kì í ṣe gbogbo ara máa ra mọ́tò kì í ṣe gbogbo ara máa bímọ kì í ṣe gbogbo àná ọmọ ìdúníyà gbogbo ìdárayá ayé kì í ṣe gbogbo ara máa ní àlè lè ní bákan náà ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n yìí ní sọ fún ẹ pé na'imuka fi dunya.
na'imuka fi dunya gururun wa
khusratun. ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ó ní na'imuka fi dunya.
na'imuka fi dunya gururun wa khusratun. wa ishaka fi dunya mahalu wa batilu.
na'imuka fi dunya jẹ́ sọ fún ẹ o ìdí ayé tó ń rí ilé ayé.
na'imuka fi dunya gururun wa khusratun.
gururun wa khusratun. ìtànjẹ ní wa khusratun àtòfò.
wa ishaka fi dunya mahalu wa batilun. wa ishaka fi dunya mahalu wa batilun.
ó ní ma ishaka fi dunya lọ́mọ pé ìṣẹ̀mí ní ayé mahalun
wa batilun.
ó wà counted ó wà number pátá àwa fún ilé ayé lò tààrẹ tó lo 90 years mọ́ sí ni tó bá pátápátá 95 100 years ó ti in the whole world wọ́n ti lè ṣòkè nísìn bẹ́ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ni ìgbà kan làwọn kan lo 120 náà lo 110 ṣùgbọ́n ní ayé ìsìn the whole world wọ́n lè ṣòkà tẹ́bá lọ gbogbo wọn ṣòkè fún àwọn mélòó tó ṣùgbọ́n lọ ní over 100 years ó ṣe kí ni wà mọ̀ àyí ṣúkà.
ìmúkà fi dúnìyà gùrúrùn wà kó sọ̀rọ̀ tún.
àbáni sọ pé ìmúkà fi dúnìyà gùrúrùn wà kó sọ̀rọ̀ tún.
wà ìṣàkà fi dúnìyà màhálì wà bàtìlù.
wà ìṣúkà ìṣẹ̀mí ẹ̀ fi dúnìyà màhálùn ó ti nígbà wà bàtìlù ìbàjẹ́ ni. Naam.
وما المال والأموال إلا وديفة فلا بد من يوم تزيد للكبر.
ألا إنما دنيا كمنزل راكب.
ألا إنما دنيا كمنزل راكب.
àbáni ń sọ fún ẹ pé kò lọ pẹ́lẹ́ ayé كمنزل راكب.
ألا إن الدنيا كمنزل راكب.
ó dàbí nǹkan ọ̀gùn tírẹ́ẹ̀nì ní bọ́ọ̀sì ní bẹ́ẹ̀ nílé ayé rí tó yẹ pé kí ni.
ànàmọ́ àṣìyà
sùnmọ́ fi ṣubú ìrọ̀hìn. ànàmọ́ àṣìyàn
sùnmọ́ fi ṣubú ìrọ̀hìn.
tó yẹ pé ànàmọ́ àṣìyàn ó máa sùn níbẹ̀ nǹkan tó yẹ pé tó bá débi kan wàá sùn bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá dẹ̀ tún di àárọ̀ wàá ṣe kí ni wàá tún bọ́ sọ́kọ̀ wàá máa lọ that is pé ilé ayé kì í ṣe ibùdúró wa.
wàmàlmáàlù wàlámúwàlù ìlàwádìyàtọ̀.
wàmàlmáàlù wàlámúwàlù ìlàwádìyàtọ̀ àfáàní sọ fún ẹ ó ní kìlọ̀ fún ẹ ó ní jẹ́ òmọ̀ wàmàlmáàlù owó tẹ̀ ń kó jọ.
wàmàlmáàlù wàlámúwàlù
gbogbo dúkìá tẹ̀ ń kó jọ.
فلا بد من يوم تزيد للودائع.
ó ní kó ló mọ̀ pé ìlà wàdìyàtún ló mọ̀ pé nǹkan kan Davido kò sí ẹ lọ́wọ́ ni ó rẹ́ǹtì ẹ̀ ní wàmọ́límọ́lù wàlẹ̀ amúwàlù ẹ lọ́mọ̀ ó ní sọ fún yín alimọ́lù gbogbo tẹ̀ ń kó jọ wàlẹ̀ amúwàlù gbogbo dúkìá tẹ̀ ń kó jọ kò ń ṣe wọn kan ìlà wàdíyà tó ẹ lọ mọ̀ pé wàdíyà ni ìwọ̀n tàbí dókò sí ẹ lọ́wọ́ ni wọ́n kọ́ ló ní.
falabuda mi yaumin turadul wada'i.
falabuda mi yaumin turadul wada'i lábúdà mi yaumin àfáàní sọ fún ẹ lábúdà mi yaumin kò sí ní ìjọ kan wà turadul wada'i wàá dá nǹkan tó yá padà.
falabuda mi yaumin turadul wada'i ho. فلا بد من يوم ترد الودائع.
gbogbo àná pé gbogbo nǹkan tá a lè kó jọ wọn fi dókòó sí wa lọ́wọ́ ni yóò kàn á dá padà. subhanallah.
subhanallah wa bihamdi subhanallah azimi subhanallah wa bihamdi subhanallah azimi.
èyí tó kàn sí yìí ó ní kán wá ṣe fún wa ní English níwọ̀n bá tí wọ́n bá lè fi tu kí gbogbo wa farabalẹ̀ kí àtúngbọ́ kí Ọlọ́run kí kó jẹ́ bá ṣe ń gbé tí ọ̀tún wọlé kó má gbé tí òsì jáde. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So there's a lot that's been discussed, but inshallah, I will try and give a bit of a summary for us in English, and I hope that you benefit a thing or two from that, inshallah. So today we only treated 2 verses from Surah Al-Qiyamah, which we began like 3 weeks ago now that we started. This is the 3rd week of Tafseer of Surah Al-Qiyamah. And we treated verses 20 to 21 today, where Allah says that Bismillah, وَتَزَعْرُونَ لِآخِرَةِ And the meaning of this verse is, so again, we went back a little bit as a recap, where this is the third phase, or if you like, a third stage of Surah Al-Qiyamah. At the beginning, Allah talked about those that deny the day of judgment, those that will be asking, once it becomes clear to them that this day exists, those that will be looking for a refuge, a place of safety. That the second stage, Allah discusses the Quran itself, about how the Prophet was very eager to learn it and was raising the Angel Jubril when it was being recited to him and so on. And we went into detail with that over the past 2 weeks or so as well. And today we started from the third phase of Surah Al-Qiyamah, that I start to discuss the state of the believers and the state of the disbelievers on that day. So in the 2 verses that we treated today, Allah says that but no, men, women, mankind, human beings as a whole, that we love the immediate. And in the next verse that that we reject or we forget the hereafter. So to expatiate on this, what Allah is saying, that truly the reason why we've neglected the hereafter, the reason why we've forgotten about the day of judgment, or the reason why some people, it's not that they forgot, it's just that they don't want to believe in it, or they don't want to acknowledge it because of their love for the present life, because of their love for the dunya, because of their love of the money they are running after, of the assets they are busy gathering, of so many atrocities that they are committing, and they are loving, they are living in sin, waking up in sin, doing all kinds of haram, and they prefer this because, again, it's just like money. We know money is a temptation to many people. There's even the saying, the English saying, that if you want to know the character of a man, give him money, or if you want to know the true character or the true behavior of a person, then look around, look at his friends, or look at our friends. So again, we know money is temptation, and apart from money, we run after assets and building houses and so on. So this is why, or even having children as well, having family, that we love. We know that as parents, that if Allah tries a parent with the trial of a child, of even just a sickness itself, we know how a parent will feel. Just like what the Prophet said one time during that time, when they saw a woman that was running helter-skelter looking for a child. And the Prophet was saying to the Sahabas that, look at that woman looking for a child after, and Allah, as Allah would have it, that she was able to find it. And I then told the Sahaba that Allah is closer to us than the love between that mother and the child. So again, we know the condition of what a parent will feel like, even for a child to be sick alone, let alone for that child to be taken away from the parents. So this is what Allah is saying in these 2 verses, that we love this life much more than that our brain, our mind is so preoccupied with the benefits, or with the competition that we're running about, that we totally forget, or we totally neglect that there's a day where we're gonna die, there's a day where we're gonna account for our deeds, and there's a day where everything we see or everything we know, that with our whole human brain will disappear, and it will be the day of Qiyamah. So the Sheikh went to different series of examples, series of verses as well, which inshallah I'll try and go through to sort of elaborate further, to give us a bit of a deeper view of exactly what Allah is trying to say in a few words, which has been translated here, but where we look at it in a deeper manner, that the speaker has used different verses to sort of corroborate this in order for us to understand that day, and the kind of what human beings are busy doing while we're supposed to be thinking about Allah, thinking about what we're putting forward that will be either work for us, against us, or work in our favor on the day of Qiyamah. So first of all, the speaker went to Surah Al-Isra, where Allah again was discussing there about people that are running, and we know in this day and age that sometimes we make dua, we are asking for something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we're not patient enough. It's like we want it as we're making that dua, we want it that quickly. Sometimes even we are very ignorant of the dua of istikhara. We're very ignorant of it. Some people believe, oh, I'm gonna see a sign, I'm gonna have a dream, and so on and so forth. We make istikhara, and we want the result immediately, but it doesn't work that way. Allah has told us in many places that we need to be patient. Sometimes it may do what we want, sometimes it may not do it for us. So in Surah Al-Isra, Quran 17, verses 18 to 19, Allah says that for those people that they are asking, they are in haste, they are asking for this, they are asking for that, that we will give it to them. We will hasten to give it to them for whatever we will, to whom we will. Meaning that we will give whatever we want, whenever we want it, to whom we will. And that shows us that there are many that will ask for a child, they will never have a child. There are many that would want to be married, but Allah will not make that easy for them because it's not been written in their destiny. There are those that they spent years and years through education level. They went from primary school to secondary to college or sixth form to university. Some people are spending 7 years, 8 years studying a degree, studying their master, doing their PhD. They come out, they don't even work in that field. They end up working in a different field. And we just, these people are doing voluntary stuff, and Allah did not give them what they are asking for, because He told us that we would only give, to whom He wills, and at the time that He wills. And He said, so for those that wanted that, He will hasten it for the meaning, He will give you quickly, and He will take it quite quickly as well. And He said on that day that He will, He will prepare hellfire for the disbelievers, where they will burn and remain. And in the next verse, verses 19, it says that, but for those that are hoping for a great cause from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those that are patient with Him, for those that they are thinking of the day of Qiyamah, and they are doing that because, again, yes, we are Muslims, alhamdulillah, Allah made us Muslims. Some Muslims are river, they listen to the Quran, they were convinced of the message, but it doesn't mean that because we are praying, we are fasting, we're going to Hajj, that we're just going to be given like an automatic key, like a free passage to Jannah. We have to still work hard for it. And this is what Allah is saying in Surah Isra, that verse 19, that those that thinking about the day of Qiyamah, but they are also striving, they are also doing the efforts that is due to it, and for those, Allah, has prepared a safer, but that Allah will give them the recompense that, those are people that Allah would appreciate their efforts. So this is what it says in Surah Al-Isra. Then the Sheikh also took us to Surah Al-Hadid, Quran 57, verse 20. And Allah discusses here. And to be honest, that even if you don't ponder, reflect, think about any other verse or surah in this Quran, this verse alone is enough to make us think, to make us call ourselves to our attention, to make us account for ourselves, to make us judge ourselves, be the critic of ourselves before we are accounted for, or before we are judged upon or criticized upon on the day of Qiyamah. Allah says in this verse, that this life, is just an amusement. It's just a play. It's just like a child, a little child that is playing. A child that, a child you use. That's why, as a parent, as you're fearful, you're scared, you're looking, don't go there, don't run there, you're running after them because you're fearful that they could run into the coming traffic, they could injure themselves, they could get on top of a table and jump. They don't know better. They just think that they're playing around. They just feel, I want to try, I want to challenge myself, I want to do this and that. They don't know that if they fall, they will injure themselves. They don't know that if they fall, it could even be the death of them. They're just playing. So Allah said that that's the likeness of this life to us. Is like a baby playing, that it is an amusement, it is a diversion, it is a place of boasting, a place of that, oh yeah, I'm driving a Lamborghini, oh, my neighbor drives this, so I'm gonna buy a better car than him, or oh, my neighbor built a duplex, I'm gonna build a mansion instead. Or my neighbor says he works as a chief, a CEO, as a CEO, or as a director of a Fortune 500 company. Oh, I'm gonna do better than him or her. You know, the life is where we're competing with each other, neglecting, we're passing assets in building and building houses that we're not going to. Some people have houses in every popular country, but we don't even stay there. We cannot split ourselves into two. Let alone split yourself into three, into four of this many houses that you have. Some people have got like different rooms in a property. You can only sleep in one at a time. Even you will go mad if you, oh, let me sleep a few hours, let me wake up at 2 a.m., then I'll go to this room, sleep there for 3 hours, then eventually you will go crazy. You will lose your mind, you know, because you can only sleep in one. You can only sleep once. You cannot, you know, share three different rooms or multiple rooms at a time. So this is what Allah is saying here, that this life is a life of diversion, of boasting, of competition, of wealth and children. You know, there is nothing more than that. We will continue to run after that which, you know, and it's just like life. Life is something that even many poets, many philosophers, many wise people that have gone past that have said, life is something that you'll be keep running after it. We don't know what life looks like. We don't know if it's a male or female. We don't know if it's tall or short. We just know it is like we're going to keep running after it, but we will never meet life. It will always elude us. It would always be something that we look at the far that we try to reach, but we will never be able to reach. And that's until we continue to run and we end up in our graves. That's how life is. Then Allah gave an example of this in this same verse, that it is like, you know, when it rains, and you know, when it rains, the farmer is probably the most happiest person, or a country that has gone through the season of so many years of drought, of dry season, no rain. You know, they are the happiest, because as a farmer, not only are you like, you're seen as a savior of the country, because obviously if you live in a country, there is no food, you know. Yes, some food these days are made with machine, or they are processed, or they are, you know, organic, or they are built, but where still many of the things that we consume still comes from the ground, still are being created naturally, where you plant a seed, you water it, you look after it, then you harvest it at a point in time. So Allah gave the example of that this life is like a rain that, you know, runs down on plants, and it makes a farmer happy. And again, that rain will run down the plants. The plants may come to full vegetation where you can harvest it, or the plants may come to the season where it becomes dry, it becomes yellow. Look at from during the winter time, look at the trees out, or autumn. At the autumn time, the trees, the leaves become dry. They start becoming yellowish. They start falling off. Where you then have the street services, they start to have to clean, because they will fill up so much. They start become like, you know, making a nuisance on the road. And eventually the tree will become barren, no more leaves. And now, as we're in spring, going towards summer, you start to see leaves again. Start to see leaves on these trees, start to become green and luscious, and you want to take a shade underneath. And that's the life Allah describes here. That it is, you know, it is like a rain raining down on plantation, makes a farmer happy. And sometimes it will become dry season and it will become yellow, and then it will disperse. And to the point that it will then become debris, that it will just discard. You know, as a farmer that you've worked so hard, you plant something, and only for you to gain nothing, only for it to become scattered, like something you can just put in your hand and it crumbles and scatter away. That's the example that Allah gave, that it is the kind of life that we live, that we continue to run and run after this. There are many things we are acquiring. Some parents would say, and this is a very common saying about our Nigerian parents, that, oh, I'm doing it for the sake of my children, I'm doing that. But these children you're giving back to, that you're giving back to in a sort of technological world, in a modern world, in a Western environment, their own taste would differ from your taste. Because also in the world, the most luxurious property that was built 10 years ago, it is not like that anymore. They've gone beyond that today. And so it will be 5 years to come, 10 years to come. There will be other architects that will come and design, oh, wow, mashallah, we've never seen this before. And that's the way that no matter what you amass, your children will go about and want to make their own money. They will go about and like things that are different. You may say, oh, this is not, you know, this is like, it's just like some you listen to music and you cannot understand the kind of Afrobeats some of our children are listening to today, the kind of nonsense they are saying.
that when you listen to the lyrics, it is profane. It doesn't make any sense. But you parents will not understand, just like how the youth will not understand your own music. And that's how this life is. So the Sheikh then went further and gave like different examples again of people that lived before our time, of how they took life. Some of them, life destroyed them in their own lifetime. Some of them, life was a blessing to them because of their iman. You know, Allah, the Sheikh mentioned Isa is saying that it described the life in 3 stages. You know, Isa said that you have the past. You can never regain the past. Some of us don't even remember. We cannot account minute by minute or second by second of the last 24 hours. We may be able to say, okay, I think I ate this. Sometimes, even when we are asked, what did you eat last time? It may take us a few seconds to remember, because the memory, you know, at some stage, it will start to deteriorate. Your memory 10 years ago is not as it is today. Your memory even a few months ago is not as it is today, because as you grow older, your memory will start to depreciate. So Isa said the past is something that is gone. Something that if you are asked, what did you do 2 months ago? You cannot account fully exactly what you did. So it is the past that some things you did, you will forget about because it's gone. You cannot recover that. And again, you have the tomorrow. You have the future. We do not know tomorrow. We don't know who's going to live until tomorrow. We don't know what state will be in the tomorrow. We don't know how earth will be. We may be saying, oh, and that's the reason why Allah says to us in another verse in the Quran that whenever we are saying, I will do this, I will do that, say inshallah, because you don't know tomorrow. Only Allah knows tomorrow. Only Allah knows if you will live till then, or if you will have the opportunity to do that. You may have a good intention that, oh, I want to help this person, I want to give in charity, but it is not by your own power. So you say, inshallah, if Allah wills, because only Allah can make it so. So Isa said that tomorrow, we don't know. Nobody knows. Only Allah knows the unseen. He knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And lastly, the present. Isa advised us to hold firm, hold the present tight, because it is only the present where you can change your future. It is only the present where you can rectify the mistake you made in the past. It is only the present that you know. It is as well, you know, I'm wearing this clothes because you know this is what you're wearing. I'm speaking this way. This is the present. But I don't know in the next 10 minutes what would happen. Neither can I change what I did in the past, but I can try to make amends with the hope that Allah will forgive me and make a better future for myself. So this is what Isa said, that these are the stages. And some of the wise ones that have gone past as well said that some of them said that it is not even, no, some said that the past is like 1 hour ago that you spent. You cannot recover that. You cannot change that. It's gone. Some said the present, it is the present now, the time in this moment that we're spending. And some of these wise ones said that the future is the 1 hour we're looking into the future. Oh, in an hour's time, I hope to have been at home. In an hour's time, I hope I just, but we don't know what could happen between that an hour. And some even said that it's not even, you know, as that much, that it's even like the little moments, that the few seconds, the few minutes that, you know, that we do, and so on. So, and then the Sheikh went further. He gave us examples from the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and from the life of Umar, and from the life of Musa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So first they mentioned Qarun. Some of us may have heard him of his story. You know, Qarun, it was narrated from Ibn Abbas, when and you can go and look at the story in the Quran. Allah discusses the story of Qarun in Surah Al-Qasas, Quran 28, verses 76 to 83, I think. It discusses the Qarun. You know, it was somebody that lived during the time of our Prophet Musa, alayhi salam. And it is narrated from Ibn Abbas, that he believed that Qarun was related. It was the son of a paternal uncle to Musa. So it was a very close relative, and it was somebody that believed in the message in the Torah. It's even said, you know, some of the Mufassirun said that it was somebody that even had an eloquent, beautiful voice. That it was when he read the Torah, he read it so beautifully that he had a great voice. So Qarun went to Musa asking for money, asking for wealth, asking for, you know, for to be given something that nobody has had before. to be given, a name, to be known in the community. And Musa Islam, made the dua, and Allah blessed Korun to the point that Korun was known to be the wealthiest, the richest man, to the even much more than Pharaoh. Korun was so rich, he commanded so much respect that he became an advisor to Pharaoh. He was somebody that Pharaoh respected, that Pharaoh would go to him, oh, what should you do about Musa? What should you do about so on. So, but Korun became arrogant. He became arrogant that he was saying in these verses that Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Qasas, that he said that it is because of my own knowledge that I am wealthy. It is because of my own knowledge, my own doing, that I am this. And this is why we say that it is wrong of us to ridicule or to undermine people. There are people that have worked harder than you can ever imagine. But hard work is not only what we need. You may do all kinds of things, and Allah may decide not to give you anything. Allah may decide to even punish you, to try you. And we also know that the Prophet as I'm told us that whoever Allah tries upon trial to trial to trial, Allah loves him or her so much. And he should be the one to be patient, that if Allah does not give you in this dunya, you will gain the reward in the hereafter. So Korun became arrogant, and he thought that he could do whatever he did. And so because of Musa's preaching, it was becoming popular, and he started to have massive followers, and he tried to plan to embarrass Musa in public, to sort of ridicule him. So he arranged for one of the ladies back then Musa was given a public lecture about zina, about fornication, and he arranged for a woman to go there and to say something that could implicate Musa Islam. And Korun and his followers also went to the gathering, and Musa was given the lecture about fornication and so on. And after he finished, Korun then asked the question that, oh, Musa, so you're saying if you do this, you get punished, that if you do that, is that true? Is that even true for a prophet of Allah? And Musa obviously answered it because he didn't know where he was getting to. He didn't know his agenda. So, and Korun was laughing. I was rejoiced that, okay, I know where we've got you by the hand. You know when you have so much evidence that you think, we've caught you. Like the police investigate, they investigate a case. They could even do that for years with so much evidence that there is no way you can even say, oh, it wasn't me. So the lady got up and say, I did this, I did that, you've committed this and that. And Musa was so sad that, how can you make such an allegation against me? How can you even say that? So Musa, we know it was somebody that, and this is why it was so beloved to Allah, it was somebody that was confident, somebody that even asked to see Allah. Musa was so confident that he asked that, Allah, how do I know this person that has been talking to me all this year? I don't even know who you are. I don't know. Allah says in the verse of the Quran, and Allah showed him a little glimpse, and he passed out. That is, so Musa was somebody that was very confident, and he spoke to Allah directly. So he made dua. He was saying right there that, woman, if you don't want to perish, I know you were not the one that said this. You were not the one that, it was not your doing, it was not your plan. If you don't want to perish where you are, start, tell me who sent you, who was behind this, who was the mastermind behind this, And the lady, because obviously as a human being, we don't want to hear punishment, even at work. Those of us that work, that even if your boss, if you're twice the age of your boss, you will still be saying, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, but you want to make your bend that because you don't want to lose your job. You know the implication of that. At school, when you're given an assignment, or at the university when you're given an assignment, you have to do it. You don't have a choice, So Musa made the dua to Allah, and when it was read that it was common, Musa then said to Allah that these people, I have tried so much, that I have done what I can, but they don't want to listen. And Korun has seen himself that as somebody that owns the key to the city, as somebody that even Pharaoh was careful of how he addressed it because of the wealth that Allah bestowed upon him. And immediately the ground started to swallow up Korun and his followers, and obviously it was too late, to the point that even in Surah Al-Qasas, in those verses that I mentioned, that there were people back there that were saying that they were envious of him, that, oh, if only Allah could give us the kind of word that he gave Korun. And immediately when they saw how Allah had dealt with Korun and his people, they were saying, we thank Allah that had we know this was going to happen, that we take, imagine if Allah had given us the same wealth, we would have been arrogant like him and would have ended up the same. So that was the story. Like I said, go and check Surah Al-Qasas, verses 76 to 83, and inshallah will benefit from that. Then Allah, the Sheikh mentioned another story during our Prophet Muhammad's time, where there were times, again, we've made it from many hadiths, that there were times that he went hungry. There were even times that charity was brought to his home, or a gift was brought to his home, and he would even give that gift away because of his concern for his ummah, because of his love for his community, to the point that he would even tie a stone around his stomach in order not to feel any hunger, even though he was hungry. We know Prophet Muhammad was not wealthy. He had no money. Khadija supported him with his wealth, but after she passed away, you know, when he was called to prophet, he had no money, he had no work, and he relied upon the community. So Angel Jubril, on a faithful day, Allah sent him to Prophet Muhammad, because after he had lived in poverty and he had lived as he is, we know as well that from Tafseer, they said the Prophet only owned two pieces of clothes and so on. So there are many things that we've heard of how the Prophet lived, that in this day and age, we cannot even think of that. We'll be like, oh, how can I do that? That kind of saying that we say, that we have to live this time before we think about the hereafter, So the Prophet Jibril was said to Muhammad that go and ask him that, do you want us, as in Allah said that, do you want us to, this mountain, this massive, lofty, big mountains that you see, do you want us to turn it into gold? And it will be doing so like immediately. That just say it, just even thinking, and leave the rest of that. You want us to turn into gold. Go, and back there, gold was it is still valuable, but even back then it was more valuable because there was no cash or notes or currency like we know it. The currency back there was gold. People dealt in gold, businesses in there, and gold was a very valuable asset back then. So Angel Jubril was saying that, but the Prophet Islam, because of his humble nature, because of his iman, and this is why our iman is very important, that we should be careful of what we ask from Allah. You may think that what you're asking is better for you, but you do not know if that is what will take you out of the fold of Islam, or if that's what will occupy your time, that you will not have enough time. Allah, we are all professionals or students. We are already occupied with lively trials as it is, and yet we will keep running. Oh, I want more, I want more salary, I want a higher position, I want to do this, I want to do that, not knowing that by Allah giving us that, we may not, the little that we have, we may not have any more time, and there will be no excuse, because Allah would ask you that you had time to worship him before, but you were asking for more because you were not content. You were competing with your neighbor, with your brother, with your sister. You were competing with the world, but you cannot have it all. So the Prophet said to Angel Jubril that, this life that you call life, that you call blessing, that you call assets, that you call good living, this property you are looking at, there will be a time where nobody will be able to live in that property anymore. Then he also said that this wealth, this money that you're talking about, there will be a time people will not be able to spend that money. People would have so much money in their account, but they will be in the grave. No, but that money, there are money in this day and age that I'm sure government have taken over because there was no one to claim it. There was no family member to claim that money. There was nobody, and that person was so rich and so on. So the Prophet made so many series of examples that, nothing you give to me can replace how content I am already. Nothing you give to me would even make me praise you much more, because all these things will come to pass. All these things, we will lose. We do not bring it to this world, and we're not gonna take it to our graveyard. And Angel Jubril, hearing that, was so happy and made the I said that blessed are you, and praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has made your iman firm unto the deen in Islam. How many of us think about that? Rather, we'll even be asking, don't bring it, this is an opportunity, I cannot let it go. And another example that the Sheikh mentioned as well, is the story of Umar, the second Caliph in Islam. We all know, we've mentioned him as well since we started the Tafseer this year. Umar was a very strong man. It was somebody that, you know, the only person that the shaitan would run away from that. If Umar was coming from that end, shaitan would run away and go the other end because of how strong he was in Islam and how firm. He did not fear anyone except Allah, and obviously he had so much respect for the Prophet Muhammad Islam. It was also the Khalifa that made so much difference in Islam, and he served the longest, after the Prophet Muhammad Islam. So Umar, one day, one of his children came back from school crying, saying to his father, I have been humiliated, I have been ridiculed, I have been embarrassed, I have been laughed at. And Umar was asking, what happened? And he narrated, oh, you know, at school, and you will always have, because again, there is no condition that is permanent. People are not the same. Just like our fingers, these 5 fingers, they are not the same. They are all, you know, they all have their individual tasks they are doing, and they are not all the same. Just like a human being are like that. There are people that will be rich in your family even. You and your brother, you and your sister, you went to school the same way, but you're not going to come out the same way. You're all going to go your different ways. Some of them will be rich. Some of them will be comfortable. Some of them will be comfortable in that they will not be in debt. They will not be beggars, but they will not be rich either, but they will be comfortable. So this son was saying to Umar that, you know, at school, you know, some of the rich people, because his clothes had been patched in 6 different places, you know, and this happens in Nigeria as well for communities that are living in poverty, you know, and they were laughing at him. Look at him, look at the kind of clothes he's wearing, you know, the son of our leader, look at him. So, and it cannot be imagined that, imagine the children of Buhari, for example, or the children of the prime minister, imagine them living in that condition. Imagine, I mean, look at prime minister, for example, we know he went to a very prestigious school, and most likely his children will also go to that kind of school. Or the children of the royal family, we know they don't go to normal standard school, they all go to prestigious school, you know. They were all born with a silver spoon in their mouth, and it's going to continue like that for generations to come in their family. So, you know, they were ridiculing this child at school because of the kind of clothes he wore. And Umar was very sad to hear of this. It was very sad. And he said to his child, don't worry, you know, I will try and do something about it. So imagine Umar at that time was the leader. He was the leader of the old Islamic nation. He was the Prince Amirul Mu'minin, as they refer to him. He was the Prince of the Muslims of the old, not just in Saudi, not just in Medina, in the whole of the Islamic state, you know, everywhere he was the leader. Now, he went to the treasurer that kept the money, you know, that kept all the money that the Muslims had back then. That, oh, can I borrow from my salary? And he said that if once I get paid later on during the month or at the end of the month, then I'll pay it back. So imagine this, that even some of people that are not even presidents or so, we cannot even do that. We cannot even be, you know, we will just be like, well, I'm the leader, you know, I can collect the money as I want, you know, I'm the leader, I'm entitled to that, you know, nobody should question my authority. No, you know, I'm the leader of the organization, and I can do as I please with the treasury. But no, Umar was not like that. He was humble. He respected that as much as he could have done so, but he respected that there's a process to things. You know, there's a protocol, which many of us sometimes we do not think about. We think of our lineage. We put our lineage, our status before protocol. But Umar understood the protocol, that there's a process to something. I cannot just demand for money. There are people in charge of it, and a person cannot make that such a demand. So he asked, can I borrow 4 dirham? And the treasurer then said to him that he asked him a very thought-provoking question. He said that, yeah, Umar, do you know, let me ask you a question. Do you know if you will live until tomorrow? You know, what if you pass out before then? What would that say to the people? You know, he wrote a letter to them, and the treasurer wrote a letter back to him. And as Umar was reading that letter, he was crying. Because as much as it may seem, some of us may take that as sort of like an insult, sort of like a ridicule, that me, a president of the society, and you are demanding, you're telling me that But he thought because that treasure reminded him of the dunya, it reminded him of the hereafter, it reminded him of Islam that he had probably forgotten because of the situation of his child. So Umar was crying that, oh, that is true. I may not live till then. So he then said, okay, you know what? Don't worry. He then advised, he sort of lectured his son that, you know, if I was to borrow this money, truly I may not live till then, and I may be in debt, and I wouldn't want that to happen, and so on. So he tried to advise his son, try to sort of calm his son that you will have to go back to school to continue to go until, inshallah, that I get paid my salary and I will buy you new uniform. But many would have taken the other stance instead. We would have demanded that the kind of position I control this organization, that should not even be a questionable thing. I should not even be asked about it. I should be able to go to the account and withdraw money as I please. But Islam has protocol, and it should not be like that, you know. So, and again, you know, lastly, where I will end today in a bit of a summary, you know, the Sheikh mentioned that Prophet Islam said to us that, you know, a person that occupies this world, you know, a person that all they're thinking about is, you know, they're busy occupying their mind with running after money, running after assets, competing with this person. This person buys a car, they will buy a car. This person buys the latest clothes, they will also go and buy the latest clothes. They are busy in their mind, their brain, their everything. The Prophet said there are 4 categories that, you know, Allah will bring upon that person. One of it is that person, the more they are running after that which, you know, sometimes that, you know, there's even a saying in the Yoruba that we say that, you know, that whatever we're going far, far wide to look for, it is near us. You know, we're looking for peace. We have peace within us if only we search within ourselves. We're looking for comfortability. We have comfortability if only we make the dua and we are patient with Allah. We're looking for sustenance, for risk, for tawfiq, for iman. We have that within ourselves. We only have to look around ourselves to learn, to be able to appreciate what Allah, because there are people, no matter the condition you are in life, there will always be people that are below you, which is what the Prophet said in another hadith for us, that when we are thinking, or when your mind is sort of going down in a sort of hollow or in a hole, don't think about the people just above you. Think about people below you as well, because you're thinking about those above you, but there are people that they are asking for just a day of what you have. That if only I can also have a child in my life, if only I can also be able to buy what I want in my life. So the Prophet said that first of all, if you occupy yourself with this dunya, Allah, you know, will continue to busy you with that. That you'll be, you know, you'll be the type of person that you'll be competing. You know, Mr. Labaja did this. Sister Khadija did this. I'm gonna do that as well. Oh, brother, this and that. That you will continue to busy yourself with other people's business. The kind of business that does not concern you. The kind of situation that you do not need to concern yourself with. Allah will busy you with that. Then the second category is that, you know, this type of people that are busy running after that which you know they don't need. Allah would not, you know, Allah will take away comfortability from them, tranquility. These are people that they will go from one job to another. You know, they will come back from a job, they don't even sleep, they will go to another job, you know, and when you think about it, the taxman will take all the money from you. So what is the point? You know, you work for like 50K, the taxman takes maybe half of that, or 3/4 or a quarter of that. So what is the point of you working and working? I understand the logic that, well, I know the taxman will take money, but I will still earn much more than if I stayed in the previous station I am. But the more money you have, the more expenses you're earning 25 pounds. Maybe, oh, I'm able to afford K. You want to buy, even though that Ford Fiesta is not, it will drive you around the same way a Lamborghini drives you around. You want to go and buy that because now you believe you have more money. And that's the cycle that we will be in in all the places in London, in Morocco, in Monaco, all the the most important places in the world. You want to be known to have a property there. But this property, you will die. Your family members may not even know, and the government in that country will take you over. You will not be able to fight. Oh, that's my property. I have children. I have my wife. I have my father. I have my husband. They will not know. The government will take over because it becomes the country's asset because nobody has come forward to claim it. And the third category, again, these are the people that they will continue to live in poverty. Why? Because they will never be fulfilled. They will think that they'll be making dua. I want more. I want this. I want that. But they will never be, because they will be seeing themselves that they are in poverty, because they will never be contented, and they will never be fulfilled. To the point that as much as the blessing that Allah has given them wealth, Allah has given them health, Allah has given them sustenance, Allah has given them iman, Allah has given them time to be able to worship Him. But Allah will take all this away because they will never be fulfilled. They will always running after more wealth. They will always running. They will tell we have the best doctor in this country. Oh, I'm gonna go. Oh, this is the latest best doctor in the world. Oh, I'm gonna go. I want to do this. They will be running after the latest medication, and this. They will want to be on the latest medical regime, latest medical, process that is currently reigning. Not knowing that what you're looking for far and wide, you have it within you, if only you're patient and you're content with the little that Allah has given you. And lastly, these are the people as well that because they are busying themselves with the worldly things, competing, boasting, diverting themselves with the worldly things, that they will continue to seek more. Allah will make them to continue to seek more, running onto their debt until they pass away. To the point that no matter how rich they become, a businessman will always continue to want to acquire assets. Look at Elon Musk. Now he's talking about acquiring Twitter. As rich as he is as that, because they will continue to want to acquire more until if they could buy the old world, they will. If they could have the old one in their pockets, they will, and become the dictator and become, controlling the old government, they will. Because they see themselves that, oh, it's not enough. I want more. I want more. Some of them, they don't even know what they want. Some of them, they don't know what they lack. They've got everything, but they are still looking for something because they don't know what is lost in their life. Because Allah has hardened their heart, because they've forgotten what it is most important. That no matter how much you run, you're only going to live in this life a very short while. We may think 100 years is a lot. Wait until you reach the day of Qiyamah and you see to the point, because the timing of Allah was differently to how human perceive time. The timing of Allah, that even a day, to us, maybe like 1,000 millions of years, that a day in Allah's sight, maybe 1 million of years in our own sight. So 100 years, 200 years is nothing. Because the older you get, the more you will come to realize that all these things I've been running after, all these properties I'm acquiring, look at that, they're crumbling. All the children I'm doing it for, they've all got their separate ways. They are living thousands of miles away. I can't even reach them. They'll be like, Dad, I'm busy, I'm this and that. You can't even reach them on the phone. You don't even see them every year. And these are the children you say that you're building your empire for. But your children will go their own separate ways. They will want their own property, because what you built, they will see it as fashion, old school, old fashion. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is where we stop today. I hope that inshallah I've done a bit of a justice to it. And I pray that the little I've said, may Allah give us the mind to be able to gain a thing or two from it, and may it be beneficial for us. And may Allah continue to make us firm in the deen in Islam, and give us the iman to be able to be content with whatever it gives us, and to have patience with whatever we are seeking that Allah has not given to us. And we ask Allah as well that whatever it gives us, may it not be a trial that will take us out of the fold of Islam. Allahumma amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar kabira. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Amakurire o. A kú oríire o. A kú oríire o. Alhamdulilayi Rabbil Alamin. Ọba tí ó kà wá yẹ tí a lè jókòó síbí ìlénìí. Ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ kan tí tọ́rọ̀ bá pọ̀ tí ò ní àlùbáríkà àfi àsìkò ṣòfò ni. Ṣùgbọ́n tí ọ̀rọ̀ bá kéré tó ní kìmí. Ẹ rí i pé verses méjì kan ni wọ́n treat lénìí. Ẹ wá wo gbogbo ọ̀nà tí ó yà sí. Wọ́n máa ń sọ pé wàláì àwa mùsùlùmí a kú oríire gan ni. Ṣùgbọ́n ohun tá a gbé dání àmọ́ náà ni. Àmọ́ ni. We don't know the weight. We don't know the usefulness. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa kákan kírun ká lọ ni. We don't seek the knowledge. Ohun tó fọ̀rọ̀ àṣetàsírí tó dáa gbogbo àlà ń seek knowledge ni. Ìwọ̀nba là ń fọwọ́ ṣe wàhálà tàsírí mọ́. Ìmọ̀wé ẹ̀rọ tá a bá di kírun, àfa ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa bẹ lọ́hùn o. Iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe yẹn kò ṣe kinní kan káfa bẹ̀ẹ̀bẹ̀ lọ́hùn kí wọ́n máa sùn. Nítorí pé àfọ̀ ò ní bùkátà. Táàfin kó láyé a máa tọrọ sí náà ni. Àfẹnitọ́lọ́ bá kàn tó bá yẹ kó yáyọ ọkàn lókù. Àfẹ́dà ọ̀nà inú mi dùn ó wà lára wá sí náà yìí fún wa lẹ́nu. Àfẹ́dà kí la fẹ́ dà? Àfẹn tí ó bá dìdàkudà. Ohun tọ́lọ́ ò bá ní kẹ́dà dá wà láyé á dìdàkudà ni. Ọwọ́ mi ò tó máa fi gọ̀gọ̀ fà á. Nígbà ó bá jábọ́ àti ẹrù tó ń jábọ́ àti ẹni tó jábọ́ lórí ètò ìwo ló fẹ́ ṣàǹfààní bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ ká gbà fọ́lọ́run. Ibi tọ́lọ́run bá fi wá sí ká máa dúpẹ́. Ká tún wá gbà fún pé Ọlọ́run mo dúpẹ́ ibi tó fi mí sí o ṣùgbọ́n tó bá tún ṣe lé náà fún mi lálékún màá tún dúpẹ́ bí àwọn ò ní ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lágbájá. Ìjọ tí mo ti wà ń lo ìbò mi ìrìnàjò ọkọ̀ bíi 1.2 litres lọ ẹnìkan dẹ̀ ń gun bíi 4.5 litres kí ló dé tèmi ṣe bórí tó gbé wáyé lèmi náà gbé wá sáyé. Ohun tá a fi ń sáré kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó lè bá ètò agbọ́lé nínú kọ́ lọ́ọ́ máa ṣe ní àgbọ̀mọ̀ fún wa. Gbogbo àwọn àfáà wa náà tí Ọlọ́run kó sípò pé kọ́ máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run jọ àlékún dáadáa kọ́ máa ṣàbà ṣe fún wọn. Àlékún mọ̀ àlékún làákàyè àlékún àlàáfíà àlékún ìdùnnú àlékún fàyàbalẹ̀ kọ́ máa bá ṣe fún wọn. Àlékún àsìkí téèyàn fi ń ṣe ilé ayé torí Islam ò ní kí ká má ní lọ́wọ́ ṣùgbọ́n ká má gbọ̀nà tí ò dá láti ní náà ni. Islam ní ká má lé ayé ṣùgbọ́n ká lé níwọ̀nba. Ọlọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ mú mi ẹ mú níwọ̀nba bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹun mú níwọ̀nba. Wọ́n fi máa nísìnyí tó bá di kọjá àlà kò ní sísìn ẹ wo ẹ̀rọ ìsàmútàn àwọn olówó ayé ṣé wọ́n dúró wọ́n sì ask more náà mo fẹ́ ra gbogbo ẹ̀ mo fẹ́ ra ìjọ tó bá kó èwo ló mú lọ ńbẹ̀ kò sí ìta máa mú lọ ìjọ tá à ń bọ̀ láyé kí la mú wá. Àwáyé ń hò Ọlọ́run tá a bá kọ́ máa faṣọ bò ó kàn ṣàánú ó bá ń kàn sí wa ń hò kò sí nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe sí. tó kọ́lọ́run jọ kó jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ kó yé wa tó bá yé wa kó yẹ ká lè wà á mú lò tá a bá mú lò náà kó jẹ́ rí èrè ẹ̀jẹ̀ láyé bí àjọjọ́ gbèdé àkíámọ̀ ọlá iná àti iná bismillahir rahmanir rahim iná àti iná kálíkà sára fasalili rọ̀bíkà wáníyà iná ṣàníyàkà wálé àpútà. tó ní àná a lọ sọ ọmọ wa lórúkọ ọmọ àfàwà Maruf Shitu àti ajáwa Sulias Shitu àsọmọ náà ní Abdul Alamin Ramadan. Màá bá ìdílé náà màá bá wọn bẹ̀bẹ̀ kò yẹ kí n bá wọn bẹ̀bẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n màá bá wọn bẹ̀bẹ̀ torí alẹ́ jọ Jímọ̀ títí di 12 láti oríṣi conclusion pé ìsọmọlórúkọ máa wáyé mo dẹ̀ sọ fún wọn irú ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n kẹ́ foríjì wọn torí ọlọ́mbẹ́yìn àgbàlagbà ṣe máa ń sọ wọn á ní ọmọdé òun mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jẹ́ kó má ra lọ́wọ́ ó ra wọn lọ́wọ́ ṣùgbọ́n àti bá wọn dùn díẹ̀ kú Ọlọ́run kí ó dá ọmọ náà kó ṣe ní ọmọ alálùbáríkà kó ọlá ọgbọ́n àwọn ọmọ tá a ti bínú ìjọ tó yẹ pé ò fi wọ́n dà wá láàmú Ọlọ́run òun náà má fi wọ́n da òun bí ẹ̀ láàmú kó má fi da ìjọ náà láàmú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn alájà wa Ganiyat Jokomba wọ́n ní ọmọ wọn bímọ ní Nàìjíríà mi mọ̀ ṣé àárọ̀ náà ni wọ́n ṣàlọ́ ọmọ wọn bímọ ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti mú owó ọpẹ́ wá kọ́lọ́n kó má ṣàbá wa dúró ti ọmọ náà gbogbo tó ti fún wọn tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ Ọlọ́run má lù wọn pamọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tó tún wò pé kí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí wọ́n tún lè bí kọ́lọ́run ṣe fún wọn pẹ̀lú rọrùn gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wá náà àwọn tó ti bínú Ọlọ́run má lù wọn pamọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí wọn tí ì bí má ṣàbá fún wọn ní tàlùbáríkà àwọn tó ti wọ́n ti sẹ̀sínú kọ́lọ́run ṣe nírọ̀rùn. ní àná yẹn náà Alhaji wa Ismail Adéṣègbìn àwọn náà wọ́n lé ọdún kọ̀ọ̀kan lánàá tó kí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó bá gùn wọ́n lẹ́mìí gbogbo bó ṣe ń ṣe sórí ọ̀nà Islam bó ṣe ń ṣe bí ló ṣe Nàìjíríà wà láì bọ̀ ó ti lọ bíṣẹ́ àbóṣìwà mí bó ti lọ bíṣẹ́ bó ṣe ń ṣe sí àwọn àfáàn bíbẹ́ náà ló ṣe ń ṣe Nàìjíríà kọ́lọ́dún bàbá àdàlágbà kọ́lọ́dún bàbá àdàlágbà kọ́lọ́ máa jẹ́ kó jọra ẹ̀ lójú torí ó kóyàn mọ́ra gan àti ọmọdé àtàgbà ló kó mọ́ra kọ́lọ́ má jẹ́ jọra ẹ̀ lójú gbogbo ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ dé nínú ìdílé kọ́lọ́ má jẹ́ takú síbẹ̀ gbogbo ètò ń sọ fọ́lọ́run ni ètò ń sọ fún àwọn àfáà ìbá abẹ kọ́lọ́ má ṣàfilé lọ́wọ́ tó bá filé ní ọwọ́ kó ṣe ní orí ìdùnnú kalẹ̀ fún aláyé náà àti iná kọ̀ọ̀kan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim iná kalẹ̀ Kausar fasali li rabbika wanhar iná shani'aka walabtar tó girama ti wá wọn ní ájà wa Rukaya pé ó máa lé ọdún kan sí ní ọ̀la kọ́lọ́n kó má ṣàbà dà ní àgbà olórí ẹbí ni Ọlọ́run ṣe kọ́lọ́n má ṣe lórí ẹ̀yìn láéláé olórí ẹbí ni Ọlọ́run ṣe kọ́lọ́n ó dẹ̀ ń ṣe ó ń ṣe kọ́lọ́n jọ kó má sọ lórí ẹ̀yìn láéláé kọ́lọ́n má àjò òjò rẹ̀ lójú gbogbo àwọn àbúrò ẹ̀ kọ́lọ́n má ṣe wọ́n lọ́ta ara wọn gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan kọ́lọ́n má ṣe wọ́n lọ́ta ara wọn kó má ṣe kankan nu wọn lẹ́rù ara wọn Ọlọ́run
Amen. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. Fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar.
Kálájí tó lọ bẹ̀ yẹn gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin Alhaji bàbá Rúkà àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin ẹ wá san Rúkà ẹjọ́.
tó ajá wa Balógun Acne kálẹ̀ là wọ́n mú àwọn ní tó wọ́n láwọn sanwó Rúkà wọ́n dẹ̀ sanwó ọ̀rẹ́ wọn náà ajá Mistura Nusirat wọ́n láwọn náà wọ́n lékún ní ìjẹta àbí wọ́n lékún lọ́dún tó Ọlọ́run kó bá àdàgbò yín lágbà o Islam tẹ dúró tì náà tí tẹ fi ṣe é wò Ọlọ́run máa lè yín kó má yẹsẹ̀ kúrò jọ́nà ẹ̀sìn Islam kó má yẹsẹ̀ nìkan wá náà jọ́nà ẹ̀sìn Islam ìwádìí ẹjọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ wọn máa rí pé Islam gbé wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó jẹ́ kọ́rọ̀ nìkan wá jẹ́ àwọn mìíràn tuntun mọ́ wá wọn láwọn fi wọ́n ní owó Rúkà Ọlọ́run ibi tẹ́ ti mọ́ náà ìlọ́pọ̀lọ́ kọ́lọ́ bá fi rọ́pò síbẹ̀ fún yín gbogbo àwọn ẹnìkan kan wa náà kọ́lọ́ ń ṣe wọ́n náà mọ̀ dúró kalẹ̀ fún wa àwọn àtàjọ́bì náà kọ́lọ́ máa ṣe wá nígbà ń jẹ́ fáwọn ọmọ wa gbogbo àwọn tó ń mú wa Ọlọ́run jọba àfi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ rọ́pò fún yín gbogbo ẹnìkan kan wa kọ́ má dìbà ń jẹ́ láéláé gbogbo ẹnìkan kan kọ́ má dìbà ń jẹ́ láéláé.
Àmín kun fayakun.
Ọlọ́run kó bá gbájú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ọlá ìsájà
kọ̀ọ̀kan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Idha jaa nasrullahi wal fath. ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا.
àtẹ̀tẹ̀ náà sọ fọ́lọ́ kọ́lọ́ bá fi àlùbáríkà sí fẹ́ẹ́
Allahumma amin.
Ìdúró kalẹ̀ fún yín.
Amin ya Allah.
Àti iná kankan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. Fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar.
tó ìnáwó mo sì ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn lọ́dọ̀ yìí tẹ́ ṣí wa lẹ́nu àwọn ìnáwó tá a tún ní níwájú náà ní ti wàlímọ̀tì nìka fún ọmọ wa Abdulwahid Bisiriyu ìyẹn máa wáyé ní May 19 lágbára Ọlọ́run Ọlọ́run àjùjọ náà lọ.
Àmín Allah.
ti ọmọ wa Dèjì kí ni.
Abdulhafiz.
yóò àpò ń dórúkọ pẹ̀lú kan náà òun náà ló jẹ́ kó fún tó ọmọ wa Abdulhafiz Adédèjì Ayọ̀dèjì ẹ má bínú Dèjì tí a máa ń pè àmọ́ tó jẹ́ mẹ́tò Ayọ̀dèjì Abdulhafiz tó jẹ́ ọmọ Bákàrè òun náà máa ṣe wàlímọ̀ nìka ẹ̀ ní August 12 and 19 àbí tó kọ́lọ̀ kó sọ gbogbo àdìgbà náà lọ.
Àmín
tí a máa fi ṣe torí àwa la fẹ́ ṣe àwọn òbí ẹ̀kọ́ ló fẹ́ ṣe torí ọmọ ọjọ́ ọmọ gbogbo wa ni tó Ọlọ́run kó sọ gbogbo àjọjọ́ náà lọ. Ọlọ́run máa fi ṣe ni owó ni àlàáfíà làákàyè kọ́lọ́ kó má jẹ́ kó wọ́n ní kankan wa.
Àmín kun fayakun.
Ọlọ́run náà àti iná kankan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. Fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar.
tó àwọn tí wọ́n tún wà lẹ́nu àwọn náà ni group Uthman tó wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti orí Alhaji wa Asimiu àti ìdílé wọn àwọn broda wa Kamarudin Adébáyọ̀ àti ìdílé gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Arsenal Alhaja wa Ọládélé àti ìdílé wọn Alhaja Kafila Busari làwọn ń pè wọ́n Busari àti ìdílé wọn. Alhaji wa Ọpẹ́lóyẹrú àti ìdílé wọn. Alhaji Balógun Kúkù Balógun àgbà àti ìdílé wọn. Àwọn Alhaji wa Sumon làwọn máa ń pè àti ìdílé wọn. Alhaji Àwòfẹ́ àti ìdílé wọn. Brother Maruf Shitu tí a lọ sọmọ ẹ̀ lórúkọ lánàá àti ìdílé ẹ̀. Àti àwọn Alhaji wa Abdulfatah Baálẹ̀ àti ìdílé wọn. Àwọn ni wọ́n tú wa lẹ́nu lẹ́nu. Ọlọ́run kó jọ gbogbo tẹ́ gbà lérò tẹ́ fi ṣe tẹ́ ṣe náà Ọlọ́run kó má ṣàmúṣẹ fún yín.
Àmín.
Láàdá tí máa bá ọgbẹ́ tó bá ń tú aláwẹ̀ lẹ́nu tó wáyé pé gbogbo wa mọ̀ ní gbogbo aláwa máa kówó kan jọ kọ́dún tó kí Ramadan tó dé láwọn máa pé ẹ bá ń ṣáláwẹ̀ lẹ́nu lẹ́nu ẹ bá ń ṣáláwẹ̀ ládá lápọ̀ ń bẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ìwọ̀nba tá à ń ṣe náà kọ́lọ́ má dùn wá ládẹ̀. Gbogbo tẹ́ ṣe mú owó náà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kọ́lọ́ bá mi fi rọ́pò fún yín.
Àmín.
Gbogbo ní tó ti dùn kọ́lọ́ má jẹ́ ó dàrú láíláí.
Àmín.
Gbogbo tó kù sí tẹ́ ń sọ fọ́lọ́ ẹ bá mú wá bí tẹ́ kù sí tá a lè ṣe á sọ fọ́lọ́ náà ni. Gbogbo ibi tó kù sí ìtẹ́ sọ́dọ̀ ìtẹ́ lè sọ kọ́lọ́ má ṣàbà ṣe fún yín.
Àmín.
Tó bá ṣe fún yín náà kó wá ṣe ní ẹrú tó máa mọ pẹ́ dá.
Allahumma
Ṣe ní ẹrú tó
àmín.
máa mọ pẹ́ dá o.
Àmín.
Àmín. Lójú o.
Àmín.
Ọlá ìsájà kankan.
Àmín. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Idha jaa nasrullahi wal fath ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا.
Tó gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìyá wa Ọlọ́run bá kó bá a dó tì yín.
Àmín. Àmín.
Torí ẹ máa lọ bí iṣẹ́ ẹ máa dé ẹ máa dáná ṣínú ẹ máa dáná sàárì ẹ tún máa lọ síbi iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọba tó lè sọ yín lẹ́san bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwa bàbá lè máa kanra mọ́ yín ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yẹ ṣá máa ẹ máa wo bẹ̀ ẹ̀yẹ fọkàn yín sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run bá tí ẹ̀ ń ṣe fún kọ́lọ́n bá kó sọ yín lẹ́san dáadáa kó wá ṣe ní ìyálé àlùjọ náà torí ayé ń bilẹ̀ kí fẹ́ fẹ́yàwó méjì ṣùgbọ́n níjọ́ gbèdé àkíyàmọ̀ ẹ̀yin nìkan kọ́ lẹ máa jẹ́ kọ́lọ́n wá ṣe ní ìyálé àlùjọ náà ẹnìkan ló ń ṣàmì ni kọ́lọ́n ṣe ní ìyálé àlùjọ náà gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tó tara yín jáde èyí tẹ́ ti ń jẹ ọmọ Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ojú yín lẹ́nu gbogbo èyí tí ó sì kù díẹ̀ tó yẹ pé àwọn ọmọ sì ń bọ̀ kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jẹ wọn mọ́ kẹ́ Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jẹ́nu àárẹ̀ o kò ní kẹ́ ẹ jẹ́nu fìtínà ẹ̀yin nìkan wá kọ́kọ́ lọ́yẹ́ ká bàbá náà jẹ́ wọn mọ́ torí àwọn kan wá nígbà táwọn bí máa sọ òmùkà lẹ́kọ́ tó sọ àbúkà ẹ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ọmọ tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ ẹ má pé òmùkà àmúpẹ́pẹ́ ẹ dáàdì ni mọ́mì ni màá tọ́jú ẹ má gbàgbé bàbá o Ọlọ́run fún yín lágbára àti ṣe. Ẹ̀ẹ́bẹ̀ wọn ni àwọn Ọlọ́run kó bá aṣọ yín lẹ́sàn-án kọ́lọ́run á bá a dà gbóyin lágbà kọ́lọ́run bá a dà yín lágbà kó má dà yín lágbà ìyà kó má dà yín lágbà aláàárẹ̀ tí wọ́n máa gbé káàkiri àwọn bàbá náà kọ́lọ́run má dà ní àgbà aláàárẹ̀ o ọlá iná àti iná Bismillahirrahmanirrahim iná àti iná kálíkà ọ̀sára fasalili rọ̀bíkà wá ní iná ṣáàdìyàkà wọláta tó àwọn alájà wa tí alájà wa rísíkà ọ̀sán ní wọ́n mú wá náà níyàn wá ń bẹ̀ àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà ti mú wá tán náà ní àwọn tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ náà wà ń fowó lẹ̀ tó gbogbo ń tẹ́ bọ́lọ́run sọ Ọlọ́run ló lè ṣe fún yín Ọlọ́run má ṣe àṣe fún yín tó bá ṣe fún yín náà kó ṣe ní ẹrú tó máa mọ pẹ́ dá kó má ṣe ní oore àṣegbẹ̀yìn fún yín kó ṣe àlékún àtẹnìkan pátá ń ṣàmì náà ọlá iná àti iná kankan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim iná àti iná kálíkà ọ̀sára fasalili rọ̀bíkà wá ní àrínà ṣáàníyàkà wàlátà tó gbogbo ọ̀nà tá a gbà lóko ọlọ́ọ̀ba òbí ni ọmọ ni ìyàwó ni kọ́lọ́n kó jọ kó bá kẹ́ wọn kó bá gẹ̀ wọ́n níjọ́ gbèdé àkíyàmọ̀ wọlá àdúrà tá a ti ń ṣe níjọ́ tó ti kú wọlá àtúnṣe bí àtàtún máa ṣe Ọlọ́run bá jẹ́ kí sáré jẹ́ bí ìsinmi fún wọn máa kí sáré fún wọn lọ́jọ́ gbèdé àkíyàmọ̀ ẹni tó wọn máa kẹ́ni kó ṣe wọ́n má ṣe wọ́n lẹ́nu ìyà àwọn tá a kù láyé àwọn òbí wa tó kù láyé Ọlọ́run bá gbọ́n lẹ́nu jẹ́ kí wọ́n jọ ọmọ pé ògbà tó wá máa yá kálùmọ̀ ṣáádà kọ́lọ́n ká mọ́ wọn lẹ́nu gbogbo àwọn tá a kù náà tá a jẹ́ ọmọ kéékèèké Ọlọ́run jẹ́ káà náà dàgbà ìgbà tí tó bá máa yá kó ká kálùmọ̀ ṣáádà mọ́ wa lẹ́nu kó má jà á ṣe lásán láyé torí ẹlòmíì ń kírun gbá ìwálẹ̀ ẹjọ́ gbèdé àkíyàmọ̀ kò ní bá nǹkan lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run táwa máa ṣe tá a máa jèrè láyé tá a máa jèrè gbàrẹ́ kìyàmọ̀ kò ṣe fẹ́ nìkankan wa ọlá kúlúwà Allahu làkàjákù Bismillahirrahmanirrahim kúlúwà Allahu ahad Allahu samad lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad Bismillahirrahmanirrahim لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم
فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش
so
العظيم.
èyí tí ẹ ṣí wa lẹ́nu àti ìmọ̀ ta ni team leader àti ìmọ̀ tí ẹ fẹ́ gbélé fún ìjọ so à ń retí team leader. Bí ẹ̀yin tó kù ṣáwà lé èlò lẹ fún ìjọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí fisẹ́bílì láì.
Allahu Akbar.
250 tó ọlọ́run tí ó jẹ́ kí ó wá sí lọ́kàn pé ẹjẹ́ adáwò ká kó lọ sínú ìjọ kan fi ṣètò ọlọ́run ọba gbogbo èrò yín síwájú ọlọ́run ọba yín múṣẹ.
Amen.
Gbogbo èrò
Amen.
yín síwájú ọlọ́run ọba yín múṣẹ.
Allahumma amen.
Ọlọ́run ní tara ọmọ dà yín láàmú.
Amen.
Ní tara ọkọ
Amen.
dà yín láàmú.
Amen.
Ní tara ìyàwó dà yín láàmú.
Amen.
Ní
Amen.
tara ẹbí dà yín láàmú. Ní
Amen.
tara ara yín dára yín láàmú. Ọlọ́run
Amen.
ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ ní kankan gbogbo àwa náà. Ọlá yín náà àti iná kankan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwal abtar.
So wọ́n ní làlátù kọ́dírì wa kí ọlọ́run kó má yẹ ká gbà lérò lásán.
Amen.
Torí mo
Amen.
ṣe máa ń sọ àwọn kan àjọ wo Ramadan lọ́ọ̀kan Ramadan ò bá wọn láyé àwọn kan àjọ kí first tarawih wọn ò gba first Ramadan àwa tí ọlọ́run wá aṣọ àti kí tarawih mi ò láti kí nìsín ṣé 15 àbí
16.
Kí ọlọ́run kó jẹ́ ká lè sọ ní ìkàlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú alihamudulilayi tá a bá sọ kalẹ̀ pẹ̀lú alihamudulilayi àwẹ̀ náà tún pé 16 fún wa nìyẹn. Àwọn tí ọlọ́run ti mú sọ́dọ̀ àdá tó wọn o àánú ẹ̀ ni tó àánú náà kọ́ lọ́run ṣe dílẹ̀ fún wa kó jẹ́ Ramadan náà gbà dílẹ̀ tó wọ́n ní làlátò kọ́dírì náà ìsádà kò jẹ́ on the 29 of April or ṣé 29/30 ni ok wọ́n ní 29/30 ṣáà jẹ́ Friday/Saturday so on the 29 ní Romford àbí ní aago mélòó ló máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní 12 o'clock so gbogbo ẹni tí ọlọ́run bá gbà láyè kí a lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n ní 11:30 so wọ́n ní 11:30 gbogbo ẹni tí ò bá lè wá síbẹ̀ náà gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n bá ti ń ṣe làlátù kọ́dírì ẹ̀yẹ́ káwa náà ká lọ síbẹ̀ ká lọ ṣe kí ọlọ́run kó rọ̀ fún wa láti ṣe then gbogbo wa ká gbìyànjú a gbọ́dọ̀ gbàwé ká má kí yídì ẹ máa sọ fún wọn lẹ́ǹbí iṣẹ́ yín bó jẹ́ 1 hour náà máa fún yín ẹ lọ kí yídì ẹ má gbàwé aláìkí yídì ẹ fẹ́ sílẹ̀ ká lè má gbàgbé sàkátù fitri wọ́n máa wọ́n ní òkè pé ká kú wá síbẹ̀ pé ká kí tàràwí tàbá di kí tàràwí tán ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ prógrámù làlátù kọ́dírì kí ọlọ́run kó gbogbo àti ọlọ́run bá gbà láyè kọ́lọ́run kó jẹ́ kí a rí ṣe kó má dùn wá ní ládẹ̀ kó má fi tọ́dún.
10 tarawih máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 10 inshallah.
Tarawih máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 10.
Oda 9:45 inshallah tarawih Isha then tarawih and Lalatul Qadri after inshallah. Wọ́n ní kẹ́ prepare oúnjẹ sààrì èèyàn mẹ́ta each family kó prepare oúnjẹ sààrì èèyàn mẹ́ta yàtọ̀ sí ti family ti yí. So yes Allah kò yí ní làákàyè ẹ tó sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yá jẹ́ mẹ́rin inshallah so family kọ̀ọ̀kan kọ́ gbóúnjẹ èèyàn mẹ́rin wá. So once again Lalatul Qadri 29th of April mọ́júmọ́ 30th of April so Friday night and we've done this because that's the last that ọdún lè jẹ́jọ́ kìí Sunday so kò lè yẹ kó ṣe excuse ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ó yẹ ká ti wà free by then inshallah. So Friday night 29th of April mọ́júmọ́ 30th and we will start Tarawih by 9:45. I mean Isha will start 9:45 the Tarawih and we will start the Lalatul Qadri straight after inshallah. Kọ́lọ̀ kó ṣọ́ àjùbá náà lọ.
gbogbo ìgbà tí a bá ń ṣe Tafseer ẹ má bínú gbogbo ìgbà tí a bá ń ṣe Tafseer a máa ń rí àwọn èèyàn tuntun tí wọ́n máa ń join wa tó ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run lẹ́ni tẹ́ fi wá síbí ẹ lè jókòó lé yín èyí tẹ́ ẹ gbọ́ náà mọ̀ pé yóò ṣe yín láǹfààní kọ́lọ́ má fi lè ṣe àjókòmọ́ fún yín.
Àmín, àmín.
kọ́lọ́ má dùn yín ládẹ́.
Àmín.
tẹ́rìn láti lè yín débi torí Ọlọ́run tẹ́ bá gbé ẹsẹ̀ kan súnmọ́ mi òun á gbé mẹ́wàá wá pàdé yín ẹ wá wo bí tẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ti wá tó Ọlọ́run kó bá a sọ yín lẹ́san dáadáa.
Àmín ya Allah.
gbogbo ìròyìn kọ́lọ́ ní ó bá tó wọn Ọlọ́run bá papọ̀.
Àmín.
tó bá tó Ọlọ́run papọ̀ kó wá jẹ́ oore bá kalẹ̀ fún yín.
Àmín,
kó má tó
àmín.
kó máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ yín kó má gba oore tọwọ́ tàwa náà.
Àmín, àmín.
lájà kankan.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Iza jaa nasrullahi wal fath ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا.
gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń join wa online náà kọ́lọ́ máa ṣe àbáwá sọ wọ́n lẹ́sọ̀ wọ́n ń join láti
Àmín,
láti Amẹ́ríkà,
àmín.
láti Dublin kọ́lọ́ kó bá a dúró táwọn náà.
Allahumma
Gbogbo
àmín.
máa fún wa pa àjókòó bí kọ́lọ́ máa ṣe àmúbá wọn náà.
Àmín kun fayakun.
àwọn kankan ni wọ́n máa ń wá join wá ń gbà mí tọ́lọ́ bá gbà wọn láàyè wà tá a bá tó máa pàdé wọn ká pàdé pẹ̀lú ayọ̀.
Àmín.
ká gbúrò pẹ̀lú akáwọn náà gbúrò pẹ̀lú dáadáa.
Àmín, àmín. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shaniyaka huwal abtar.
àfi tó kù lé àwọn ṣéwù wa Mustapha ẹ̀sìn lọ́wọ́ kílẹ̀ yín tó pè lẹ́ẹ̀kan.
Ọ̀yá lọ́wọ́.
Olúwa lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀sìn lọ́wọ́ tó Ọlọ́run kó kọyín mọ̀ sọ.
Àmín, àmín.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد
آمين.
إذ هديتنا
آمين.
وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب
آمين.
ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين
آمين.
ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا تخلف الميعاد
آمين.
ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي والمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب
آمين.
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي
آمين.
الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار
آمين.
ربنا مسلمين وليكنا بقولي لا
إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
لا إله إلا الله
محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين. Okay. Allahumma. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma innaka afuwwun. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni.
Ọlọ́run kó ṣọ́ wa tayọ ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ a máa kí àṣírí o ẹ lọ ṣàdọ̀ aláka kí àṣírí o ẹ máa bá wa palẹ̀ mọ́ wa náà lájọ máa palẹ̀ mọ́ kẹ́ kí àṣírí kẹ́ tó kó mi o ẹ bá wa kí àṣírí kẹjọ lájọ mọ́ kẹ́ tó kó mi báyìí o Tafseer Saturday online àárẹ̀rò púpọ̀ ní gbogbo Saturday o ẹ ń jọyìn wa online o gbogbo wa ẹ jẹ́ àjọyìn online Saturday 2:30 on Saturday 2:30 to 5 Sunday 2:30 to 5. Kọ́lọ̀ kó ṣọ́ wa tayọ ìgbà yẹn o. As-salat.